The internet just exploded with a confession nobody thought they would ever hear. For years, one rumor haunted the Braxton family like a ghost that refused to disappear. Fans whispered about it in comment sections. Bloggers hinted at it in cryptic headlines. Old clips from reality TV were replayed again and again by viewers trying to decode the truth hidden behind awkward laughs and strange moments of silence. But the family never fully addressed it. Until now. Because in a moment that has sent shockwaves across social media, Tamar Braxton reportedly opened the door to the most uncomfortable question surrounding her family, the allegation that she crossed a line with her own sister Toni Braxton's husband. Yes. That rumor. The one people said was too scandalous to be real. The one fans argued about for years. The one the Braxton family seemed determined to keep buried. Now suddenly Tamar is speaking about it, and what she allegedly revealed is far more explosive than anyone expected. Because instead of simply denying the claim, Tamar reportedly started explaining the complicated history behind her relationship with Toni's ex-husband, Kerry Lewis. And the more she talked, the more the internet started connecting dots from the past that suddenly look very different. Old interviews are being replayed. Reality show moments are going viral again. And leaked screenshots from supposed private conversations are spreading across Twitter like wildfire. Some fans believe Tamar's explanation proves the rumor was completely misunderstood. Others are convinced it confirms something the family tried to hide for years. But here's where the story becomes even more explosive. According to insiders, Tamar didn't just address the rumor. She allegedly revealed the moment that started everything, the emotional confrontation that forced the entire family to face the question nobody wanted to ask out loud. And if the leaked audio circulating tonight is real, that confrontation between Tamar and Toni didn't just get emotional. It got explosive. The rumor that refuses to die didn't start with a headline. It started with a whisper. A tiny comment buried deep in an old fan forum years ago. 4 sentences that sounded so outrageous people initially laughed it off. Tamar was too close to Kerry. Toni knew. At first, nobody believed it. But whispers have a way of growing when silence surrounds them. And in the Braxton world, silence has always been suspicious. Because for a family that built an entire reality show on emotional honesty, screaming matches, therapy sessions, and tearful confessions, there was one topic that seemed permanently locked behind a steel door. The rumor about Tamar Braxton and her sister Toni Braxton's husband, Kerry Lewis. For years, fans debated it like a forbidden mystery. Comment sections exploded with theories. Old episodes of the family's reality show were dissected frame by frame. People analyzed body language like detectives examining crime footage. And the more they watched, the more certain fans became that something strange had once existed between Tamar and Kerry. The jokes, the playful arguments, the moments where Tamar seemed just a little too comfortable teasing Toni's husband. At first it looked like harmless family energy. But once the rumor surfaced, everything suddenly looked different. Clips went viral again. Fans pointed out scenes where Tamar leaned on Kerry's shoulder during conversations. Moments where the two laughed together while Toni sat quietly nearby. Even interviews from years ago started resurfacing, with viewers dissecting Tamar's playful personality in ways nobody had done before. Some fans insisted it was nonsense. Tamar had always been loud, joking, dramatic with everyone. That was her personality. But others believed something deeper was hiding beneath those moments. And the timing of everything only made the rumor more powerful. Because around the same time people started whispering online. Toni and Kerry's marriage quietly began collapsing. To the public, their breakup was explained the way most celebrity splits are explained. Busy careers. Personal differences. The pressures of fame. But the internet doesn't accept vague answers. Not when millions of fans believe there's a bigger story hiding underneath. Soon bloggers began asking a brutal question. Did Tamar play a role in the breakup? That question detonated across entertainment forums. Suddenly fans were revisiting every Braxton family argument they had ever watched on television. Moments between Tamar and Toni that once felt like normal sibling tension suddenly looked suspicious. One scene in particular became infamous. During an argument on their reality show, Tamar and Toni snapped at each other in a way that fans later described as too personal. The fight seemed bigger than the topic they were arguing about. And once the rumor started spreading online, people began saying the tension felt like it came from somewhere deeper. But despite all the speculation, one thing never made sense. Toni and Tamar never completely broke apart. They still appeared together, performed together, spoke about each other in interviews with warmth and respect. And that contradiction confused fans more than anything. Because if the rumor was true, how could the sisters still stand on the same stage? For years the mystery lingered. Sometimes the internet forgot about it. Then suddenly it would resurface again, when a viral clip or old interview appeared online. And every time it returned, people asked the same uncomfortable question. What really happened between Tamar and Kerry Lewis? But the story took a shocking turn recently when Tamar finally decided to talk about it. Not in a carefully scripted statement. Not through a publicist. But during a heated conversation that insiders say became far more emotional than anyone expected. According to people present during that moment, Tamar didn't respond the way fans thought she would. She didn't give a simple yes or no. Instead, she started explaining the complicated history behind her relationship with Kerry and Toni during the years when their family life was constantly colliding with fame. And the more she talked, the more the room reportedly fell silent. Because Tamar's explanation wasn't the dramatic confession people expected. It was something messier. Something emotional. Something that suggested the rumor might have been built from moments outsiders completely misunderstood. But Tamar also admitted something else. Something that reignited the internet overnight. She admitted that she and Kerry did have private conversations that Toni didn't initially know about. That single detail was enough to send social media into chaos. Within minutes of the clip appearing online, Twitter exploded. Fans began arguing again. Some insisted Tamar had just confirmed the rumor without directly saying it. Others defended her, saying close families often talk privately, and that it doesn't mean anything inappropriate happened. But then came the leak that turned everything into a full-blown firestorm. A supposed screenshot from an old group chat began circulating online. In the message, someone saved under Tamar's contact name allegedly writes a line that made fans gasp. "I told you it wasn't like that." Nobody knows if the screenshot is real. But the internet doesn't wait for confirmation. Within hours the message had millions of views. TikTok creators began building entire timelines of the alleged situation. YouTube commentators posted breakdowns of every Braxton family moment connected to the rumor. And then something even more explosive surfaced. A short audio clip. The recording is grainy, barely clear, but fans believe the voices belong to Tamar and Toni during a private argument years ago. In the clip, a voice believed to be Toni says something that instantly sent the internet into meltdown. "You should have told me." That single sentence was enough to ignite thousands of new theories. What was Tamar supposed to tell her? Why did Toni sound so hurt? Was the conversation really about Kerry? Nobody could answer those questions. But the clip spread like wildfire. Suddenly celebrities started reacting too. One reality TV star tweeted cryptically, "Family drama always has deeper layers." Another posted, "The truth always leaks eventually." Fans began tagging Tamar directly, demanding answers. Some defended her fiercely. Others accused her of betraying her own sister. And through all the chaos, Tamar posted something that made the entire story even more dramatic. Just 3 words on her Instagram story. People assume everything. That message sent the internet into a frenzy. Was she denying the rumor? Or was she hinting that the real story had been misunderstood all along? Because according to insiders close to the Braxton family, the confrontation between Tamar and Toni about this rumor didn't happen on television. It happened behind closed doors. During a family meeting so emotional that multiple people reportedly left the room in tears. And if the second audio recording that fans claim exists is real, that meeting didn't just involve Tamar and Toni. It involved someone else. Someone whose name has never been mentioned publicly in connection with the rumor. But according to a source who claims to have heard the recording, that person said one sentence that changed the entire story. And if that sentence ever becomes public, the internet might realize the rumor they believed for years was hiding something even bigger. The room where the confrontation happened wasn't a television set. No cameras. No producers. No dramatic background music the way viewers were used to seeing on reality TV. Just family. And according to insiders who claim to know what happened that night, the atmosphere was so tense you could feel the pressure in the air before anyone even spoke. Because by that point the rumor had already exploded across the internet. Blogs were posting headlines. Fans were tagging the sisters in comments demanding answers. Even people inside the entertainment industry were whispering about the alleged situation between Tamar Braxton and Kerry Lewis. The family couldn't ignore it anymore. So they gathered privately. Tamar, Toni, a few other family members. And the moment Tamar walked into the room, sources say everyone already knew what the conversation would be about. The rumor. The one nobody wanted to say out loud. According to someone who claims to have heard details from a person present, Toni didn't raise her voice at first. She simply asked one question. Is there something I should know? That question reportedly hit Tamar like a thunderbolt. Because for years the rumor had lived outside the family in gossip blogs and fan forums. Now it was inside the room. Direct. Personal. Impossible to ignore. And Tamar's reaction was not what anyone expected. Instead of laughing it off the way she sometimes did with uncomfortable situations, insiders claim Tamar became emotional almost instantly. Not defensive. Not angry. Emotional. She reportedly told Toni that the internet had twisted something innocent into something ugly. According to sources, Tamar admitted she and Kerry had talked privately many times during the years Toni and Kerry were married. But the reason for those conversations, she insisted, was completely different from what people online were suggesting. Tamar allegedly said Kerry would sometimes come to her for advice when Toni and him were going through difficult moments. Marriages in the spotlight are rarely easy. Tours, schedules, public pressure. All of it can strain even strong relationships. And according to Tamar, Kerry sometimes needed someone to talk to who understood Toni's personality from the inside. Her sister. That explanation reportedly stunned the room. Because while it didn't confirm the rumor, it also didn't completely erase the tension surrounding it. Toni reportedly asked Tamar something else next. A question insiders say changed the entire tone of the conversation. Why didn't you tell me? That's when emotions reportedly exploded. Sources claim Tamar became frustrated. She allegedly said she didn't tell Toni about those conversations because she didn't want to make the situation between Toni and Kerry even worse. In Tamar's mind, she believed she was helping them work through their problems quietly. But from Toni's perspective, hearing that her husband had been confiding in her sister without her knowledge felt like a betrayal, even if nothing inappropriate had happened. And that's when the conversation turned heated. Voices reportedly rose. Accusations started flying. Old family frustrations that had nothing to do with Kerry suddenly resurfaced in the argument. The kind of buried tension that sometimes exists in close families finally spilling out. At one point, insiders claim Tamar shouted something that instantly spread across the internet once rumors about the meeting leaked. "I never crossed that line." Those words were repeated in countless blog posts once the story began circulating. But Tamar's defenders say that statement proves her innocence. Critics say it sounds like someone defending themselves from an accusation that had already happened. And just when the argument seemed like it couldn't get more intense, someone else in the room reportedly spoke up. Someone who had been quiet the entire time. The name of that person has never been officially confirmed. But according to the insider story now circulating through entertainment circles, this individual said something that froze the room. They were already having problems before any of that. That single sentence shifted the entire conversation, because it suggested the rumor might have been focusing on the wrong cause entirely. According to the source, this person insisted the struggles inside Toni and Kerry's marriage had been building long before Tamar's private conversations with him. Long before the internet started whispering. Long before the family ever sat down for that explosive meeting. The implication was clear. The marriage had already been in trouble, which meant Tamar might have been pulled into the situation at the worst possible moment, right when everything was already collapsing. But the internet doesn't always care about complicated explanations. And the moment details of that meeting leaked, social media erupted like a volcano. Twitter exploded with hashtags. TikTok creators began posting dramatic reenactments of the confrontation. YouTube commentary channels dropped hour-long breakdowns of the alleged timeline. Fans split into two camps overnight. Team Tamar and Team Toni. Team Tamar argued that the rumor had been wildly exaggerated by people online who misunderstood a family dynamic. Team Toni argued that Tamar should have told her sister immediately if her husband was confiding in her privately. Meanwhile, the chaos online reached an entirely new level when a supposed voice note surfaced. The clip is short, barely 15 seconds. But fans claim the voice belongs to Tamar speaking to someone during a private phone conversation years ago. In the recording, the voice allegedly says one sentence that instantly reignited the scandal. "I was just trying to help them." Within hours, the clip had millions of views. No one has confirmed whether it's real. But the internet didn't wait for confirmation. People began building theories around it. Some said the voice note supported Tamar's explanation. Others claimed it sounded like someone trying to justify something deeper. And then celebrities began reacting. One R&B singer posted a cryptic tweet that immediately went viral. "Family secrets always find daylight." Another reality TV personality wrote, "Never get in the middle of somebody else's marriage." Even people who had nothing to do with the Braxton family were suddenly weighing in. The conversation had become too big to ignore. And through all of it, Toni Braxton remained completely silent. No tweets. No interviews. No Instagram responses. Just silence. Which only made the speculation grow louder. Because when the calmest member of a famous family says nothing while the internet is on fire, people start assuming there's more to the story. And according to a new insider claim that surfaced late last night, there might be. Because sources are now saying that during that private confrontation between Tamar and Toni, someone else's name was mentioned. A name that has never been publicly connected to the rumor before. And if that claim turns out to be true, the entire story about Tamar and Toni's husband might not be the real scandal at all. The real scandal might involve someone nobody suspected. And the alleged recording where that name is revealed. According to insiders, it hasn't leaked yet. The internet thought the story had reached its peak. Tamar had spoken. Fans had chosen sides. Old clips had been replayed millions of times. And the alleged confrontation between Tamar and Toni had already become one of the most dissected celebrity family moments in years. But then something happened that sent the entire conversation into an even more shocking direction. Because late one night, a new claim began circulating through entertainment blogs and private industry group chats. And this time it wasn't about Tamar. It was about someone else entirely. According to an anonymous source who claims to have heard the full recording of that private family confrontation, the conversation between Tamar and Toni didn't just revolve around Kerry Lewis. At one point during the argument, another name was allegedly mentioned. A name that had never been publicly connected to the story before. The source didn't reveal who the person was. But they described the moment like this. When the name came up, the entire room went silent. That single description was enough to ignite a fresh wave of speculation across social media. Fans immediately began building new theories. Was the mystery person another member of the Braxton circle? A friend who had witnessed something years ago? Someone connected to the music industry who knew details about Toni and Kerry's marriage behind the scenes? Or could it be someone even closer to the family? The rumor mill went into overdrive. Within hours, TikTok detectives were creating timelines of everyone who had been around the Braxtons during the years Toni and Kerry were together. YouTube commentary channels started posting dramatic breakdowns of the supposed recording. Reddit threads stretched into thousands of comments. And suddenly the story that had once seemed like a simple rumor about Tamar possibly crossing a line began to feel far more complicated. Because according to the insider claim, the mystery person allegedly said something during that confrontation that changed the direction of the conversation entirely. The sentence was simple, but devastating. If we are telling the truth tonight, tell all of it. Those words reportedly shifted the entire energy of the room. Instead of focusing only on Tamar's private conversations with Kerry, the discussion reportedly turned toward the deeper problems that had existed inside Toni and Kerry's marriage long before the internet started whispering. Financial pressure, career stress, long stretches of time apart during tours and recording schedules. Sources say those issues had already created cracks in the relationship years earlier. Cracks that the public never saw. And if those cracks were already there, it raises a difficult question. Did the rumor about Tamar simply become an easy explanation for a marriage that was already struggling? Or did Tamar's involvement, even if it was innocent, make an already fragile situation explode? The truth may never be fully known. But the internet doesn't operate on patience. It operates on speculation. And the speculation reached a completely new level when another alleged leak appeared online. This time it was a supposed email exchange between two people described as former production staff members connected to the Braxton family's reality show. The authenticity of the email hasn't been confirmed. But the message included one sentence that sent fans into absolute meltdown. Everyone on set knew the tension wasn't just about sister drama. That line spread across social media like wildfire. Fans immediately began revisiting old episodes again. Arguments between Tamar and Toni that once seemed playful suddenly looked far more intense. Moments where the sisters avoided eye contact started trending on TikTok. Even small jokes from past interviews were suddenly being interpreted as possible clues. Meanwhile, celebrity reactions poured gasoline on the fire. One R&B singer tweeted cryptically, "Truth about family always comes out eventually." Another reality TV star posted, Never assume you know the full story when cameras are involved. And through all of this chaos, Tamar finally responded again. Late at night, she posted a short video on Instagram. No makeup. No glam lighting. Just Tamar speaking directly into the camera. Her voice sounded tired. Emotional. But firm. She didn't mention Kerry. She didn't mention Toni. Instead, she addressed the rumor itself. Tamar said the internet had turned years of family history into a scandal that didn't reflect the reality of their lives. She said people watching clips online could never understand the full context of private conversations inside a family. And then she said something that instantly became the most quoted line from the entire situation. Families are complicated. But betrayal is something I would never do to my sister. That sentence exploded across social media within minutes. Supporters flooded her comments with messages of encouragement. Critics responded with skepticism. But the reaction that fans were waiting for never came. Toni Braxton remained silent. No statement. No social media response. No interview addressing Tamar's comments. Just silence. And that silence only made the mystery feel deeper. Because people began asking a question that nobody had considered before. If Tamar truly crossed a line with Kerry, why would Toni continue maintaining a relationship with her sister for all these years? They still performed together. Still supported each other publicly. Still spoke with respect in interviews. That kind of relationship would be extremely difficult to maintain if the betrayal fans were imagining had truly happened. Which leads to a possibility that some observers are now starting to consider. Maybe the rumor was never about what people thought it was about. Maybe it grew from a misunderstanding that became exaggerated every time the story was repeated online. Or maybe the real story involves layers the public will never fully see. Because families are rarely as simple as internet narratives make them seem. They argue. They forgive. They hold secrets. They protect each other even when outsiders misunderstand the situation completely. And for the Braxton family, living those complicated dynamics under the constant spotlight of television and social media has made every small moment open to interpretation. A joke can become a scandal. A private conversation can become a conspiracy. And once millions of people begin telling a story about your life, correcting that story can feel almost impossible. Today the rumor about Tamar, Toni, and Kerry still circulates online. But the more people revisit the timeline, the more the situation begins to look less like a shocking betrayal and more like a complicated family moment that outsiders may never fully understand. Still, one mystery remains. According to insiders who claim to know what happened during that private confrontation, there is still a longer recording that has never surfaced publicly. A recording that allegedly captures the exact moment the mystery name was mentioned. And if that recording ever leaks, the entire narrative surrounding the Braxton family's most uncomfortable rumor could change overnight. And after everything you just heard, the biggest question still hanging in the air is this: what actually happened behind those closed doors? Because one thing is undeniable. This story has followed the Braxton family for years. A rumor whispered in forums turned into a viral internet mystery, then exploded into one of the most debated family scandals in celebrity culture. And now that Tamar has finally spoken about it, the conversation has only become more intense. Some people believe Tamar's explanation proves the rumor was misunderstood from the very beginning. They see a sister who got caught in the middle of someone else's marriage struggles and spent years carrying a narrative the internet built around her. Others believe there are still pieces of the story we haven't heard yet. The alleged recording. The mystery name mentioned during that emotional confrontation. The silence from Toni that continues to leave fans wondering if something deeper is still hidden behind the scenes. And that's exactly why this story refuses to disappear. Because every time new details surface, the internet uncovers another layer. Old interviews get replayed. Reality show moments get reanalyzed. Fans begin connecting dots that might mean nothing, or might reveal something nobody noticed before. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Tamar finally cleared up one of the biggest rumors surrounding the Braxton family? Or do you believe there's still more to this story that hasn't been revealed yet? And the question that has split the internet completely in half. If something truly inappropriate had happened between Tamar and Toni's husband, would the sisters still be standing together today? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this conversation is far from over, and some of the most interesting perspectives always come from viewers who catch details everyone else missed. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most talked about celebrity family rumors ever, make sure you hit the like button so more people can join the discussion. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because the moment any new leak, interview, or behind-the-scenes detail surfaces about the Braxton family, we'll be breaking it down right here. And trust me, if that rumored recording ever surfaces, the internet might be in for an entirely new chapter of this story.